Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gretchen, and today I am here with another Booker Prize Longlist review, and today I will be talking about the shortlisted title, The Rest of Our Lives by Ben Markovits. So this is a book I actually finished a while ago. I finished it prior to the shortlist being announced, and when they announced the list, I will be honest and say I was a little surprised to see that this one made it. Not because I didn't enjoy it, but I felt like this book was more simple than a lot of the other ones. This is more of a slice of life type book with minimal plot, and it really isn't doing anything different. And it feels very comfortable, like a book that I have read before or a storyline that I have followed before. So I was a little surprised to see it, especially because there were a few other books on the long list that I felt were really doing exceptional things and really unique things that haven't been done in any of the books that I have read before. So to see such a simple story make it was a little shocking, but like I said, I did enjoy this. So what is this book about? So this book follows our main character. His name is Tom, and Tom lives in Connecticut with his wife and his older daughter, and they also have another child, a son, that lives out in California. Now, Tom is starting the story by telling us a little bit about his life, and we very quickly find out that Amy, his wife, has had an affair, and Tom is trying to come to terms with it. He is trying to decide whether or not he has the capacity in him to forgive her, to forgive and forget, and to repair their marriage and move on. We also learn that his daughter is going to college soon, and he is about to embark on a little bit of a road trip to take her from Connecticut to Pittsburgh, where she will be going to school. While he is in Pittsburgh, after he drops her off, the plan is also for him to stay and visit with a friend of his, and then after that little visit, he is to return to Connecticut. So Tom is in Pittsburgh after traveling there with his daughter, and he's getting to the point where he's gonna be heading back home, and he starts to think about heading home and what it's going to be like to return to an empty house with just Amy, where he'll actually have to face a lot of the problems that they have, and instead of bottling everything up, if he goes back, he's probably going to be confronted with a lot of them. So he starts to panic a little bit, and instead of returning home, he makes the decision that he is on a whim going to continue heading west, and the first place that he is going to stop is to see his brother. I think his brother might live in Ohio or Indiana. But anyway, so this starts a bit of a road trip, an unexpected road trip for him to go and visit all of these other people along the way. There are several different stops that he makes, and also he does eventually end up in California where his son is. One of the other things that we learn about Tom during this journey of his is we learn about his relationship with his family. We learn about his past life, his past loves, his relationship that he has with his wife, what it was like to, have his children and bring them up with Amy, and then for him to just feel like all of that was thrown away by her having this affair. We also learn about that relationship with his brother, the regrets that he has with maybe past relationships that he has had. And we also learn that he might be struggling with a little bit of some health concerns as well. So this is a midlife crisis type story. It's a bit of a road trip story, but it is very simple, and it tells the story that is very relatable, and it's a story that feels very familiar. Even if you haven't gone through something like this, you are likely to know someone in your life that has been up against something like this and has gone through these types of things. So it can have that level of familiarity to it, which I think sometimes can be comforting whenever you're reading a book, and I think that that's part of why I enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed Tom as a character. I found him to be very likable. Although he wasn't perfect, he definitely had his flaws, and there were things that I was just like, what are you doing, Tom? But I think that that just makes him human, and it added to the charm and the believability of the character. I think that this is a perspective that I haven't really read a whole lot from. There are books that I have read about women that have been going through kind of that midlife crisis where they're questioning everything. Me being a female reader, obviously, that could be why I have read more of those books, but I think that this is one of the few books I have read from the male perspective. And what was interesting is that I noticed there were a lot of similarities between those types of narratives, having that crisis as a man versus a woman. I thought that that was interesting to see. I also had to laugh too because I cannot remember where I heard it, but someone compared this to, or compared it as being the male version of All Fours by Miranda July. Now, if you follow my channel at all, I did not get along with All Fours at all. I know that I was probably one of the few people that didn't enjoy that book. I know a lot of people did, but I wouldn't consider that a fair comparison. In certain aspects of it, yes, but I think that this just felt a little more safe. It felt a little more wholesome, and it was definitely not as provocative as All Fours. So if you have read or heard any of those comparisons, I really wouldn't put too much stock into them, because although it is a bit of a road trip story, and he is kind of fleeing and running away from his family life and trying to avoid all of his responsibilities temporarily, it just doesn't have that All Fours kind of feel to it. Although I did enjoy this book, I don't think that there's really anything making it stand out from the others. I think some of the books that are remaining are more complex and more detailed and are going to be way more memorable than a story like this. But like I said, this was a solid read, and I would definitely recommend it if any of that type of narrative or character sounds interesting to you. So that's it for this review. I have a couple more reviews that I do need to get out before they announce the winner. The ceremony date, I believe, is on November 10th, so I really need to get moving on those. I have finished The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny, and I am almost done with the others, so I should be able to get those hopefully filmed and edited and out there sooner than later. And also, I would like to put out a video of who I think the winner is going to be, but I need to still have a think about that, because even though I'm still reading some of the books, I have a pretty good feel for what they're doing and whether or not I'm going to enjoy them. But I'm unsure on where this is going to go. I thought one thing in my mind for the short list, and the short list totally didn't land where I thought it was, so I'm really confused about what the winner might be, but we'll see. And until we read again, bye.